Title: My sister said I'm holding her back. She's cutting contact. I paid her tuition. I don't know what I'm expecting here. Advice? Catharsis? Maybe just to feel less alone. I can't talk to anyone in real life about this because, well, I don't have anyone else. And now, not even her. I'm Eric, 28 male. My sister Anna is 20F, and until about a week ago, I would have told you she was the only family I had in this world. We were inseparable. We had to be. Our parents didn't die. They just left. When I was 8, they dropped me off at our Aunt Teresa's house with a grocery bag of clothes, my school backpack, and a fake smile that barely lasted 10 minutes. I remember them saying, "This is just for a little while. We need to figure things out." I watched them drive away through the screen door. 2 months later, they showed up again. This time, they had Anna, just over a year old, and a duffel bag of her stuff. No hugs, no kisses goodbye, just a quick, "Take care of each other," and they left again. Forever. Teresa wasn't exactly Mother of the Year. She didn't abuse us or anything, but she didn't want us. We were extra mouths to feed. She worked nights, slept through most of the day, and left us to figure it out. I learned to cook because Anna needed to eat. I walked her to daycare, then walked myself to school. I changed diapers before I was old enough to spell the word responsibility. We weren't just siblings. We were a unit. I bathed her, read her bedtime stories, held her when she had night terrors. I taught her how to tie her shoes, helped her with homework, made her Halloween costumes from old thrift store clothes. Every birthday I tried to make it special. Cupcakes with frosting I couldn't afford, hand-drawn cards, a single gift wrapped in newspaper. I was 12 when she first called me Dad by accident. I didn't correct her. I didn't want to. In high school, I worked night shifts at a gas station just to have money for her school supplies and new clothes. I skipped prom so she could go on a field trip. She never asked, I just did it. Because that's what family's supposed to do. Or at least that's what I thought. Fast forward a few years, I didn't go to college. Didn't have the grades, or the time, or the money. I worked construction, warehouse gigs, then discovered digital art through a free trial of Photoshop at the local library. It clicked. I poured everything into it. Practiced for hours, posted my stuff online, built a small following, started doing commissions. Fast forward again, now I make decent money illustrating for indie games, comic creators, and TTRPG projects. Not rich, but comfortable. I work my own hours and pay my bills. No debt, no boss, no burnout. It's not traditional, but it's mine. And it paid for her future. Anna got into a solid university 2 hours away. She wanted to go into marketing, and I was over the moon proud. I promised her I'd help with tuition, rent, food, everything. She cried when I told her. She said, "You always take care of me." I joked that she'd better get rich and buy me a beach house one day. The first year, it was like always. She called me almost daily. I sent her money, supplies, dumb little care packages with snacks and cheesy motivational quotes. I illustrated a poster for her dorm of her favorite book series, hand-painted it, even got it framed. Her friends loved it. She bragged about me being so talented. She said I should teach. She said she wanted to publish a children's book someday and have me illustrate it. We'd have movie nights over Zoom. I'd stay up late helping her brainstorm for papers. When her laptop died, I sold my gaming PC to buy her a new one. No hesitation. Not one. Because I believed in her. But sophomore year, something shifted. The calls got shorter, then less frequent. When I asked why, she said classes were hard, her internship was demanding. I understood. I backed off. But then I started seeing things online, photos of her at parties, group outings, Instagram captions like, "Family isn't always blood," and none of it included me. One of her friends even DM'd me once and said, "OMG, you're that anime guy Anna mentioned." Anime guy. That's all I was. That, and apparently some kind of joke. When I confronted her during winter break, she said, "Eric, you're too sensitive. People just don't get the whole commission artist thing." Like I was some kind of artistic leper. She started saying stuff like, "You're wasting your potential," or "Don't you want a real job eventually?" Real job? I built a career from scratch, with no degree, no support, no connections. I made a way where there wasn't one. But to her, I was just embarrassing. I thought maybe she was just stressed, that she was trying to fit in, so I swallowed my pride. I kept helping, kept calling, kept pretending it didn't sting when she avoided introducing me to her friends during a campus visit. Then, last week, it all came to a head. She came home for the summer, 3-day visit. Tense from the start. She was on her phone constantly, barely looked at me. When I asked if something was wrong, she just said she was figuring things out. Then on the last night, she sat me down like she was about to fire an employee. Her words, "Eric, I think you're holding me back." I blinked. I honestly thought she was messing with me. She wasn't. She told me she wanted to elevate her personal brand, and having a brother who draws for randoms on the internet wasn't something she could explain to future employers or LinkedIn connections. That my existence, my job, my identity was an anchor. I asked her what that meant, and she said, "You don't understand how people look at me when they ask what my family does. It's always awkward. It's like I worked this hard and I'm still tied to that life." That life. Me. Then she hit me with the knockout punch. She got back in touch with our parents. They found them on Facebook. They live in a nice suburb now. Apparently they found God and want to reconnect. She already booked a flight. She's moving in with them next week. Says she wants a clean break. Her final words before she walked out the door? "Don't contact me. I need a fresh start." She left the photo I framed of us at her high school graduation. Left the hand-sculpted figurine I made of her favorite character. Left the blanket I sewed her during the worst flu season we ever had. Left me. I've texted, called, emailed. Nothing. No thank you. No goodbye. Just silence. I'm sitting here in the apartment we used to share during holidays, looking at an unopened bag of her favorite snacks I bought in case she wanted them. She didn't. I know people grow. I know relationships change. But this wasn't growth. This was betrayal with a smile. This was watching the one person you poured everything into tell you you're just not polished enough for their new life. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I raised her, gave her everything. Now I'm an embarrassment? Dead weight? And somehow she's the one who feels held back? If anyone's out there reading this, was I wrong to be hurt? To feel like my heart's been ripped out and tossed in the trash with the rest of the uncool things she's outgrown? Because right now, I feel like I don't exist.
Update. Thanks to everyone who commented or messaged after my last post. I didn't expect it to blow up. Honestly, I didn't expect anything. I posted that in the middle of the night, sitting on the kitchen floor with my back against the cabinet because I couldn't sleep. I still can't. It's been about 3 weeks since Anna told me she was cutting contact and moving in with our parents. I've been trying to keep it together, but I'd be lying if I said I was okay. The first few days felt like getting hit by a truck in slow motion. I'd wake up expecting a text from her, muscle memory reaching for my phone. I kept telling myself, maybe she just needs time, she'll come around, she always does. I even tried reasoning with it. Maybe she's overwhelmed. Maybe those people got in her head. Maybe they're manipulating her. Maybe I did something wrong. I replayed every conversation we had over the last year in my head like I was trying to edit a bad script, wondering where I messed up, where the warmth faded, where the lines blurred between family and whatever this is now. I scrolled back through old messages and photos until my eyes hurt. I left voicemails I immediately regretted, soft ones, begging ones, angry ones, all unanswered. Depression is a weird thing. It doesn't hit like a lightning bolt, it seeps, quietly, like fog under a door. The dishes piled up, the commissions stopped coming, I stopped answering emails, I'd stay in bed until 2 p.m. and stare at the ceiling until I remembered I needed to eat. But I'd still check my phone every couple hours, just in case. Because for all her venom, some part of me still believed I'd hear her voice again. And then came the grocery store. It was a normal Thursday. I dragged myself out to get cereal and frozen pizza because that's all I could stomach. I had a hoodie on, headphones in, avoiding eye contact like usual, but I noticed this guy kept glancing at me near the produce section. I figured maybe he recognized me from a commission. I get that sometimes. But he looked familiar. College age, maybe a few years younger than me, kind of preppy, pastel shirt, expensive watch. Eventually, he walks up and says, "Hey, sorry, but are you Anna's older brother, Eric?" I froze. I hadn't heard her name out loud in a week. I took off my headphones and nodded slowly. He smiled like we were old friends. "Man, it's good to meet you. I was at Anna's internship celebration last weekend. I sat near her during orientation, too. Everyone was wondering where you were. She said you'd been in some kind of car accident and couldn't make it." I just stood there. I swear I forgot how to breathe. He kept talking, oblivious. "She said you two were super close. It was really sweet. Sorry again to hear about the accident, though. Hope you're healed okay." I mumbled something about needing to go and walked out of that store without buying anything. I sat in my car for an hour, hands clenched on the steering wheel, jaw locked so tight it hurt. I felt something, a tidal wave of rage, betrayal, heartbreak, all boiling beneath my skin. She lied. She told people I'd been in a car accident just to explain why I wasn't at her party. Why? To keep up the fantasy? To avoid telling people she cut off the brother who paid for her damn education? And as if that wasn't enough, I found out the celebration was paid for using my money. Not technically mine anymore. I'd sent her a few thousand before she left to get settled. I thought it was for tuition, food, and rent. Instead, it went toward renting out a rooftop bar, catering, and social media manager she hired. I saw the charge on my business account, $2,370.54. I called the venue myself to confirm. The moment I got off the phone, something inside me snapped. Not loudly, not with fireworks, just snapped. Clean. I emailed her financial aid office and revoked the authorization on her payments. I pulled every dime out of the support account I'd set up in her name. I canceled the catering refund that hadn't gone through yet, called every vendor I could find linked to the party, and shut it down, the DJ, the event photographer, even the social media manager she hired. And the kicker? 2 days later, I get a voicemail from her, the first time she's contacted me since she left. She sounded panicked. "Eric, I don't know what you did, but everything is unraveling. Mom and Dad said that they can't help me anymore. They said this isn't what they signed up for. They won't even let me stay in the house." Turns out our loving, changed parents only wanted the Instagram-friendly version of Anna, the one who came with financial backing. The second the money dried up and the party collapsed, they pulled the same move they did 20 years ago. Anna also lost her internship. I found out through one of her classmates who follows me online. Apparently, the company found out about the Fallis accident story and deemed it a character concern. Integrity clause in the agreement. Internship terminated. So now she's got no apartment, no income, no internship, and no support. She left me another voicemail this morning, sobbing.
Eric, you ruined everything. I worked so hard for this, and you took it all away because you were jealous. I was moving on. That's what she said. Jealous. Not sorry. Not, I messed up. Just blame. Like she's the victim in this. I haven't responded. I don't know if I will. I want to say I feel nothing, but I do. I feel everything. And that's the problem. I miss the version of Anna who made macaroni necklaces and asked me to read her favorite story 5 times in a row. I miss the girl who called me Uri and hugged me like she was my whole world. I don't know where that person went. I don't think she's coming back. So yeah, I let go. Maybe I was holding her back, but I was also the only one holding her up. Final update. It's been 5 days since my last update, and I wasn't planning to write again so soon. Honestly, I didn't think there'd be anything more to say. I figured that was it, that the story ended with voicemail blame and a final silence. But then yesterday, she showed up at my door. It was just after 6 p.m. I was working on a character sheet commission, half watching an old animated series in the background, trying to find some normal again. And then there was a knock. Not the usual UPS tab either. It was hesitant, repetitive, almost nervous. I opened a door, and there she was. Anna. Hair pulled into a messy bun, eyes puffy and red, backpack slung over one shoulder. She looked small. Not physically, just emotionally, like a balloon with all the air let out. For a moment, neither of us said anything. Then she whispered, "I'm sorry." I didn't say anything. I stepped back, letting her inside. The second the door closed, she started crying, like full-on sobbing. The kind of cry you don't do for sympathy, the kind where your soul is too heavy to carry anymore. She dropped her bag and fell to her knees, covering her face. I hadn't seen her like that since we were kids, when she broke her arm falling off the monkey bars and thought I wouldn't come to the hospital with her. She said I was so stupid. I wanted a family so badly. I thought if I just gave them what they wanted, they'd stay. I didn't realize I was losing you in the process. She told me everything. How our parents fed her promises and backhanded comments until she believed them, that I was limiting her, that I wasn't real success, that love meant compliance. She admitted she didn't just lie to others, she lied to herself. She wanted so badly to believe her parents had changed that she let herself be rewritten. And by the time she realized how hollow they were, it was too late. They had their photo ops, their Facebook story, and when things got hard, they vanished again. She said losing her internship opened her eyes more than anything else. The way they dropped her without hesitation, the way no one came to help but me, even when I had every reason not to. She said, I don't want their kind of family. I want ours. I want what we had. I want you. I sat across from her for a long time, not saying much, just listening. Watching her finally drop the ego, the distance, the image. And when I finally spoke, I told her the truth. I told her I still love her, that I always have, that she will always be my sister, my family, my kid in some ways, because I raised her, damn it. I told her I missed her every day, and that hearing her say those things about me, my work, who I am, was the deepest kind of hurt I've ever felt. You didn't just disrespect what I do, you disrespected who I am. And worse, you used me, lied about me, and tried to erase me from the life I built for you. She nodded, quietly, tears running down her face. And when she finally spoke again, her voice was raw. I don't expect you to forgive me all at once. I just want the chance to earn it back. So here's what I told her and what I'm telling you. I'm not an ATM with emotional features. I'm her brother, not her bank. No more disrespecting my job. No more pretending I'm some embarrassing footnote in her life story. No more unlimited support. No more silence when it's inconvenient. And most importantly, she's going to pay me back. The party vendors I couldn't reverse, the charges that still hit my account, She's going to work to repay every single dollar. Not because I need it, but because she needs to understand the cost. Not just the financial one, but the cost of betraying someone who loved her unconditionally. And you know what? She agreed. Not begrudgingly, not with attitude. She said she wants to. That if she's going to rebuild trust, it has to start with owning what she broke. She's not moving back in or anything, but she's staying nearby, crashing with a friend from school while she picks up a retail job and tries to find her footing again. She asked if we could hang out sometime, like before. Today we had lunch together for the first time in months. No tension, no pretending. She asked about my current commissions, actually listened. Even pulled out her laptop and watched me sketch. Said she forgot how cool it was to watch characters come to life from nothing. Said she missed seeing the way I light up when I draw. She even asked if I'd teach her how to use Procreate. There's still pain. There's still distance. But for the first time in a long while, there's also hope. I don't think things will ever go back to how they were, and maybe they shouldn't. Maybe this is how it has to be now. Real, honest, imperfect. Boundaries and love. She's not my responsibility anymore. But she's still my sister. And we're still family. This time, on my terms.